Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Muhammad Ehsan Chattha, Assistant Professor in Chemistry, Government Degree College, Chichawatne. Dear student of the 4th year BSc Chemistry, now study Kohlrausch'law of the physical chemistry. It is another article of the electrochemistry. Again, pronunciate Kohlrausch'law. Kohlrausch'law is about the equivalent conduction of various electrolyte, various moiety, anions and cations. Kohlrausch'law is explained. It is the sum of the conductions of all the positive moiety present in the electrolyte and conduction of all the negative moiety, negative substance of the electrolyte. Kohlrausch'law, in other words, we can say that as in it is given our text that Kohlrausch'law is about all the moieties which are independently separated from each other. They don't depend each other. Half of the conduction is contributed the positive substance, positive species, and half of the conduction is contributed the negative species. We express the conduction of the positive species by lambda positive and lambda not positive, and similarly negative species lambda not negative, and total conduction will be with lambda not capital lambda not. We express the total conduction according to Kohlrausch'law. Kohlrausch'law जो है according to जो है वो given in text that Kohlrausch'law जो है वो Kohlrausch'law examines various equivalent conductions of different electrolyte and try to relate them between the datas, how they are interpreted, how they are related to each other. It was found that Kohlrausch'law equivalent conduction of many electrolyte at infinite dilutions is found regularly, and it is found from the data that total difference between the two electrolyte difference cations, either we change or we change anions, total difference of the conduction remain the similar as it is plotted in the graph. The graph is the plotted between the square root of the concentration taken on x-axis, while conduction, its equivalent conduction taken on y-axis. In a graph जो है we found it as linear curve graph. It means that conduction जो है it is the correlated quantity directly related, that is difference between the two anion and cations is remain the similar, although it is maybe decreases in weak electrolyte, but the difference of the two electrolyte conductions remain similar. So we can say, according to Kohlrausch'law, each moiety migrate independently of its co-ion and separated and to move towards the different poles and show equivalent conduction toward the total conductions independently, freely, and so the according to Kohlrausch'law, the total conductions lambda naught is equal to conduction contributed by positive ions, positive cations, while the conduction of the negative anion. It is the sum of the two ion conductions, positive and negative. Two positive ions move independently toward the opposite terminal of the battery. These two ions don't influence each other. According to Kohlrausch'law, they independently migrate towards the terminal and show their conductions, and their sum of the conduction will be known as Kohlrausch'law conduction and represented by capital lambda naught as in expressed in our text. At infinite dilutions, students, you know that at electrochemistry, our article are basically at infinite dilutions. At infinite dilutions means when no ions don't release any types of energy or don't release any types of energy, that dilution is known as infinite dilutions, and their conducting effect at that state will be zero. So the infinite dilutions is case of enthalpy. At enthalpy change will be zero, their conduction will be zero. That stage in electrochemistry is known as infinite dilutions. And infinite dilution, Kohlrausch'law about the various electrolytes. It explains that difference of the two electrolyte, they remain similar whether we change the positive ion, whether we change the negative ion, but the total difference of the conduction remain similar. Their they are correlate each others. In case of these are conduction remain similar, different of the conduction remain the similar, either we change the positive and negative ion. Kohlrausch'law, it is the sum of the conduction of two moiety, two ions of the electrolyte, positive ions conductions and negative ions conduction. According to Kohlrausch'law, it is the sum of the conductions of two electrolytes which are moved independently towards the opposite ion independently, freely. They express their conduction. Sum of the conductions of these ionic species, positive and negative, is known as Kohlrausch'law. Thank you, student. Kohlrausch'law at infinite dilution we study in details. Next time we study another topic.